What's going on, you guys? It's your host, Galadon. We're talking about the Electro Wizard Challenge, and we're going to put some decks together today. Me and my buddy Bruno Clash, another very well-known YouTuber, very good at what he does, and so each of us put together a deck that we thought would work, and we went for it. Alright, so now I figure Electro Wizard, you want to use him as often as possible because he's super overpowered, so what you should do is put together a deck of the least expensive cards that you can find so that you can cycle through to the Electro Wizard as frequently as possible. So here we are with the cheapest deck in the Clash Royale universe with the Electro Wizard. So everything else, 1 or 2 elixir, and well, okay, so maybe it's not going to work out as well as we had hoped. We are cycling through a lot of cards super quickly, but you'll notice the Royal Giant get into the tower. He's got a Miner as well, so Bruno put together a Miner Royal Giant Electro Wizard deck, and you can see my Electrifying Wizard is down. His is down as well. Ice Spirit, I mean, I don't really have much of a choice. Everything, like I said, is 1 or 2 elixir, and the only card that has any significant amount of hit points is my Ice Golem. So as this battle progresses, we are starting to learn that maybe just going for the cheapest possible Electro Wizard deck isn't the best move. Obviously, the Electro Wizard works kind of like a troop, and he also has a spell. He's got that zap when you drop him, so you need to take that into consideration when making a deck. Maybe, just maybe, it can replace the zap spell, but also remember, like we talked about in yesterday's episode, you cannot place the Electro Wizard on the other side of the battlefield, so you can't use it to offensively zap. It's only going to be on your side, so it does kind of limit the use of the zap, drop, shock, whatever you want to call it, that stun that the Electro Wizard has when you drop him. Also, you'll notice that he will target either 1 or 2 other units as he's zapping his way through the field there, so that is significant. You can take out groups of units relatively quickly or do quite a bit of damage to one single troop, and that is definitely something unique to the Electro Wizard. Alright, so we're getting, you kind of get the idea of where this battle's headed, right? Okay, so smallest possible, cheapest possible troops, not the best idea. We're going to go ahead and forward to the end of this battle that was oh so incredibly close if it weren't for that crazy fireball. Okay, it wasn't that close. Okay, so this probably is just about the opposite of what you want to do with this deck. Wait, that's it. It's the opposite. It's the opposite of what you want to do. You want to go with the most expensive cards, the highest elixir cards you possibly can. The average elixir cost 6.8 Electro Wizard deck. Here it is. Of course, we call this the Go 3 Row Vla Peck deck. Anyway, so yeah. So there it is. Just pick the most expensive cards you can, and obviously they're going to be good tanks. They're going to help protect the Electro Wizard, and he's going to go in and demolish everything. Right, okay, so this deck, I gotta tell you, this is one of the reasons that personally, for decks that I play on a daily basis, I like to stick closer to about a 3.0 elixir cost than a 4.0, because I feel like when I'm rotating quickly, I don't know, I have such a problem sitting and waiting. Maybe I'm an impatient person, but I hate just sitting and waiting forever for the elixir to build up. Finally, I have enough to drop 1 more unit, and in the case of this deck, it's pretty much 1 unit and then wait, and then 1 unit and then wait. At least I did have the elite barbs, but obviously no good counter to any sort of goblin barrel, any sort of large groups of troops like that. Pretty much no splash damage whatsoever in this deck. But it was fun to try out against Bruno, and again, maybe things just not working out in my favor. So once again, we will fast forward to the end of this very close battle where I almost took him down here. You can see that last minute push. If it only hadn't been for running out of time, I definitely would have beaten him here, but somehow he does grab. Okay, alright, so I got 3 crowned. Okay, so scratch that deck. Let's move on. Okay, so like I talked about in yesterday's Electro Wizard episode, I really feel like the best thing for you to do if you want to try to win these challenges is to use a deck that you're already pretty familiar with. So what I've done here is taken a Royal Giant Elite Barbarian deck, and I know a lot of people hate the Royal Giant, but again, if it's in the game, it's fair play, even if people hate it. Obviously, Bruno using it here too. So in this deck, what I did was I simply swapped out the Zap spell for the Electro Wizard. He's got that Zap when you drop him, so kind of similar. You'll see the average elixir cost is 4.0, so it's a little more expensive than I like to play with right now. Obviously, the 2 extra elixir for the Wizard as opposed to the Zap spell there does cost, but we're going to try this out. And again, like I'm saying, my best advice to you would be to don't dramatically change your deck. Go with the units you're used to playing. If you love playing the Lava Hound or the Golem, big tank cards like that. If you're playing a Hog Cycle deck, maybe you can work it in there. If you're playing some sort of bait deck, even a Siege deck, this is obviously going to be a good card to protect your Mortar and your Expo. Not that I'm encouraging people to use the Mortar in the Expo. Just going to say that right now. All right, so you can see that Bruno again working with the Royal Giant, Elite Barbarians, and the Miner. And obviously the Miner just about as annoying as the Royal Giant. It's one of those cards that's very difficult to prevent from doing damage to your tower. Now there the Electro Wizard helps finish off the Elite Barbs, and Bruno drops his own Electro out in front kind of by itself. You can see that maybe by himself he doesn't do a great job. My Musketeer is going to get in there, and once again, the Heroic Musketeer almost single-handedly takes that tower down. I feel like she's one of the most underrated cards at 4 elixir, protecting against ground and air, putting out a massive amount of DPS, and doing a great job if she's uncountered of getting to the tower. One of the reasons that splitting 3 Musketeers is so solid. Alright, so the Royal Giant takes out Bruno's tower. We're going to go ahead and fireball these minions as they turn around there, try to protect the archers. And, oh, I caught a Zap Wizard! I caught an Electro Wizard in that fireball. That was just amazing good luck right there. Just happened to get him as he was dropping the Electro Wizard, and he got eaten by the fireball. A gift of 4 elixir to me. And you can see I've got the Tombstone out there to try to help grab any sort of units like Giants, Royal Giants, Lava Hounds, Golems, to stall those big units on their way in after my tower. Fireball finishes off the Mega Minion as well, and I just kind of went full defense right here. You can see just a matter of trying to protect my tower. The Electro Wizard getting to the King's Tower. He's going to get wiped out by the minions. Again, in comes the Miner. We're going to counter him with Elite Barbs. All sorts of elixir now, and time is counting down. We are going to grab this win, and I kind of like this deck. Obviously, I'm not like the most skilled player in the world, but I feel like this deck is pretty versatile, and the Tombstone being that good key card to help defend no matter what you're facing. Alright, so let's move into one more battle, and we're showing the deck again on the right-hand side. This one just slightly cheaper, 3.8. Now you'll notice I kind of have anchor cards, not completely different decks. In fact, they share 4 cards right now. Elite Barbs, which are just, I cannot encourage you enough to learn the Elite Barbs, to play them. They are so overpowered right now, and just such a great card until people either figure out a better way to counter them, or we see a balancing that brings down the amount of damage they put out, or their speed just a little bit. Elite Barbs, Royal Giant, Ice Golem, and Electro Wizard. Those are my 4 key cards that I've kept in both of these decks. The Tornado is one of my favorite cards in the game right now. In fact, I'd say it's probably my absolute favorite card in the game. I just love the effects. I love unique cards like this. In comes the Elite Barbs, pushing the Ice Golem. They get to the tower. Here comes the Tornado, a little bit late, but you'll notice it does pull those guys off, wipes them out, and lets my Elite Barbarian take Bruno's tower down to 9 hit points. Just 60 seconds expired in this battle, and that is the danger of Elite Barbarians. They're just brutal, brutally strong. Haven't even had a chance to put my Furnace down. Now you'll notice the fundamentals of the decks. I've replaced the Tombstone with the Furnace, basically replaced the Fireball with the Tornado. So again, the defensive structures of any kind going to do a good job of grabbing units like Royal Giants. Here he had the Hog Rider. We grabbed that Hog Rider. It never got a shot off on that left tower. Kind of surprising right there. Stopping his Elite Barbs on the right-hand side in the meantime. And it's just a matter of maybe a Log. See how the Log does against the Electro Wizard. Alright, so he is a little bit more tanky than, say, a Princess. But the Tornado, maybe not the ideal placement of the Tornado, but it's fun! I love the Tornado. Obviously, Bruno getting a good laugh out of it. We had a fun playing these battles, you guys. But nonetheless, this is a deck that I probably would try in the Electro Wizard Challenge. Skeleton Army is a good card. I really like that card a lot. It's pretty versatile against all sorts of different attacks. You can see that the Fire Spirits out of the Furnace doing a good job of controlling that minion horde. In comes the Hog Rider. Elite Barbs just annihilate that Hog. And now again, I've switched off to full defense, just trying to hold Bruno back here for the last 30 seconds or so. So the tornado, just looking for a place, just looking for an excuse to use it, takes out that minion horde, the ice golem, and that is going to control the barrel goblins there. Another furnace goes down. Just really doing everything I can to protect this tower. Gonna go ahead and throw in the elite barbs and see if maybe I can't get to the other tower. Good counter to elite barbs, more elite barbs. And that's pretty much a stalemate right there. Time is going to count down though, and we are going to grab another win, dropping the Electro Wizard in to finish off those elite barbarians. 1 crown to 0. Time is up, and thank you again, Bruno, man. So much fun playing with you. It's so much fun trying out new decks, and I'm hoping that one of these decks gets me to 12 wins in the Electro Wizard Challenge. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what decks you are putting together. Thank you guys, as always, for sticking around all the way to the end of this very special Electro Wizard Challenge episode. Leave your comments down below. Please do hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe for the earliest possible update and sneak peek information. And of course, daily Clash videos. You guys are the hashtag Galafam. Join me for a Mob Crush stream and I'll show you my golem butt. And I'll see you tomorrow for more full attacks.
Dog, did you say you're going to show off your golem butt? You'll get banned by the FCC.